What Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans Inc. And today's Manga Nerdigan 2023 State of the Series is going to be for Four Nights of the Apocalypse. So before I get into this video, let me just remind you to hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because, of course, this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored. If you love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be for live reactions like for Four Nights of the Apocalypse, reviews like we did for Grudge of Edinburgh, which part 2 comes out in August, or news and analysis like this video, feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Links are in the description box below. So, I'm really sorry to get this video out last night, but unfortunately there was a raging Lugia flying near me. So there was a storm, wild-ass storm going on, loud-ass storm going on, and I don't think you guys wanted to have that in the background. So that's why I put this video off until today to do. So how the series of videos are going to work, which I briefly discussed in my update video. Basically, we're going to go over the lore that was introduced in Four Nights of the Apocalypse, in this case, over the past year. And also give our predictions of what we're hoping to see in 2023. Now, Four Nights of the Apocalypse is going to be a little bit more interesting to do because, yeah, Nakaba introduced a shit ton of lore because all Four Nights of the Apocalypse got together. We got to see Arthur, we got a war declaration, we got to see the state of Camelot, and also Grudge of Edinburgh added more lore as well. And yeah, I'm gonna say this: if you are not up to date with Four Nights of the Apocalypse, like up to chapter 89, if you have never read the Amake from I know it came out a long time ago, but if you've never read chapter 346.5, titled The Rainforest Invites the Beginning, yeah, you are going to be very much spoiled. So that's your warning. But we're going to start off with Percival here. And then we'll go into Gawain, Tristan, Lancelot. And when we get to Lancelot stuff, we'll include the lore we got from Guinevere and Jericho. Then we'll get to Arthur. And then we'll get into the state of Camelot itself. Because, God, there's a lot of stuff in Camelot we need to cover. And after that, we'll get into, the content that was revealed at the end of chapter 89 and go from there. So with Percival, he is obviously the character we've been following the longest. So there isn't as much lore, new lore for him. But I have to go over at least this part anyway. He is, of course, the Knight of Death. And he's the one with the verdant wing-like hair. But the one thing we did see that I have to point out is that we got to see his rapture power. Yeah, because remember, his main magic, his hero magic, is one fueled by hope. I know it's like a Nakaba power kind of thing, but you know what I mean. And it could do just about anything. It's fucking OP as hell. But his freaking rapture power, his death power, like a mummification type of power, who he used on that bastard Cheon, he's a little shithead, is fueled by hopelessness. And when he believed that, his friends were dead, whoa, he turned Cheon's arm into it was undead, it was pure mummy. And the only one that could turn it back to normal was Percival. He's the only one that can do it. So, if the rapture gets unleashed, which it's a matter of when at this point, God, it's going to be interesting. But there's something very interesting going on in regards to Pelagard. Because I keep saying Pelagard's going to turn. Bitch, Pelagard is going to fucking turn. I mean, Pelagard even said that there was something about Percival understanding him. Percival's like the only one that understands him. Bitch, just fucking turn already. He said, he sees potential in Percival. He likes Percival. And he wants to train. He could have killed Percival multiple fucking forces off Ironside. I'm telling you, it is a matter of time before this fucker turns. And the other person he's going to train, and I'm telling you, these two characters are connected, similar to how like Tristan and Lancelot are connected. And that is the fourth knight that was introduced, the fourth and final knight that was introduced, and that is Gawain, who is the Knight of Famine, the one possessing gold-colored magic, the combo of Escanor and Merlin. And god damn it, is she amazing. She is everything. I love her. And I love how her magic is different than Escanor's. Because, yes, she does have the sunshine magic. She has the daytime magic. But unlike Escanor, though, where he loses his magic at night, Gawain loses her form when she runs out of magic. And yes, her weapon is very much similar to Escanor's weapon, where like she can just summon it at any time, which is freaking awesome. And she loves her pudding. I love her. Love her, love her, love her, love her. And live action She-Hulk got nothing. She got nothing on Gawain. Nothing. Gawain is a way better character. And something else I found out about Gawain that I do want to point out is that obviously she is named after the character of the same name from the Arthurian legends. And her personality that Nakaba has here in the manga is, and thank God for the Four Knights wiki for this, combines both classic depictions of Gawain in the original legends, both as the embodiment of the humane but exemplary knight from the various original stories, and as the tragically restless anti-hero from later reworkings in Mellory's The Death of Arthur. Yeah, Gawain is a pimp, too. She's going after all the bitches. And the other thing is, I'm telling you, Pelagard's going to train Percival and Gawain. Because remember, he tamed that horse. They also have the same kind of connection where, yeah, I know she is Arthur's niece, but similar to how like Vargas saved Percival from the Knights of Chaos, well, Gawain's grandparents saved her from Arthur's brother, you know, her father, from that chaos too. So you got that commonality going on. The other thing I'm very curious about in terms of Gawain's magic that we saw, I'm curious if she absorbs magic with her rapture power, if she absorbs magic and if that would keep her in her larger form longer or not. I hope that gets answered. And I'm telling you right now, that battle that's going to happen with, it's going to be against, if it's not against Pelagard, I will be very surprised and very annoyed. Those two are going to, it's either going to be like the rapture from Percival going on that is going to cause Pelagard to turn, or something. I don't know, or Gawain going off or something. Something going to happen and get Pelagard to turn, but if anyone's going to train Percival and Gawain, it's gonna be Pelagard. I'm calling that shit now. Seriously. And also, I have to point this out too. Notice how both Gawain and Percival's magic are roughly the same color. And they're light magic. I have to point that out. Now with Tristan here, we got a lot more lore. Obviously, we had to get a lot more lore from Tristan because he made his Four Knights of the Apocalypse debut. And we saw him in Grudge of Ettenberg as well, because that movie was about him. So with Tristan, obviously he's the Knight of Pestilence, and he has both holiness and evil in his eyes, one of light and one of darkness, because he is a mixed breed. Now, Tristan's power is interesting because he can't fully control it just yet. He could be in a demonic state for a short period of time, but if he goes for longer than that aforementioned short period of time, yeah, he goes into that demonic state, and that's when things get ugly. Yeah, I would say that's when his rapture form, if maybe that's when his rapture form kicks in. I don't know. You can make the argument for that. You can make the argument that that's when it is. I don't know. But from what we've seen in the movie, though, I do have to point out that's great, is I like that we saw Tristan using his goddess magic to find the origin of Elizabeth's curse. That was cool. I hope that comes into play this next year. That better come into play next year. Also, something that I'm very annoyed about, and I'm hoping we see in part 2, is how Tristan meets Isolde. I need to see it. Because they are very cute. I love him and his muscular waifu. And let's be real. That was his trigger, was his muscular waifu. It wasn't Elizabeth in the movie. No, that's another thing. It wasn't Elizabeth in the movie. Dude, if it wasn't Elizabeth in the movie, it's going to be Tristan's trigger is going to be Isolde. I'm calling this now. Because I thought it was going to be either Elizabeth or Isolde. Oh, well, maybe both. But I don't think it's going to be Elizabeth. Based on what we saw in Grudge of Edinburgh, I think it's going to be Isolde. Straight up, I think the trigger is going to, for Tristan's rapture, I think it's going to be Isolde. If it's not, I will be surprised. Because there's no way Meliodas is going to let Elizabeth get hurt. Nah. It's going to be Isolde. It will be Isolde, and it will be ugly. I mean, we just saw the trigger here in the manga with when Meligoland, Super Meligoland, was threatening to fuck her up. So, yeah, I'm calling this shit now. It's going to be Isolde. But I'm telling you, Nakaba, if you do not have Tristan meet Isolde at the end of part 2, there's gonna be problems. There will be problems. And also, I kind of would like to see the formation of the Tristan platoon as well in part 2. I don't think we'll get it, but I kind of would like to see it considering the time period. Now, Lancelot, though, is where we get the most lore. This was the year of Lancelot last year. Because we found out that Sin, who has been traveling with them, was really Lancelot, who is the Knight of War and the one being mysterious with no fixed appearance. Yeah, that is very much him. Because we've seen him transform into a fox. We've seen him transform into 2 different fairies. One in Grudge of Edinburgh and one in Four Nights of the Apocalypse as well, when he was fucking with Meliscula, which was fucking hilarious, I'm not going to lie. Nakaba, I'm surprised you didn't use that fairy form, but it is what it is. Then there is what happened in regards to his connection with Tristan. It's very interesting. Similar to how you have Gawain and Percival's connection and their destinies being intertwined. It's the same thing with Tristan and Lancelot. I feel like part of it has to do, yeah, I know it's their parents too, but that scar on Lancelot's head that Tristan inflicted, being the activation for Lancelot's magic, yeah, there's definitely something there. And it could be the explanation for why Lancelot is the only one that can calm Tristan down. It could be. But I do have to mention this as well. Fuck you, Anime Studio, for robbing me of a fairy trap Lancelot. You made him way too masculine. I wanted to see my fairy trap because he is freaking adorable in the Rainforest Invites the Beginning, because that's where Grudge of Edinburgh, the start of it, takes place, is like literally right before the Rainforest Invites the Beginning, and he's a little fairy trap. He gets confused for being a girl. And also, yeah, that's where Jericho comes in. And as I was double checking everything and getting everything prepped, yeah, Jericho's definitely a pedo. The signs were there. the signs were there because Jericho, first of all, she was like almost she was in her late 20s, going into her 30s at the time of the Rainforest Invites the Beginning. Yes. And Lancelot accused her of being like a perverted dude, and she denied that she was a guy. She didn't deny she was a pervert, so it's like, what? But yeah, she was the night that, you know, Lancelot was looking for in terms of the Star Night. So, but the thing is, though, we don't know what happened. We don't know if she had to have witnessed when Lancelot became the Prince of the Lake. Either that or after, no, she had to have witnessed when Lancelot became the Prince of the Lake. Maybe that's when she said that was not when she fell for him. She fell for him during their time together. But there's something else going on here. There has to be. But we won't know until we get that Prince of the Lake story. No. But the other thing that needs to be pointed out in regards to Arthur giving Jericho this world where she can live with an adult Lancelot is what Guinevere said. So Guinevere, who is 12, and Lancelot's 16 up in here. Lancelot, for the motherfuckers that are saying Lancelot is a pedo, Lancelot, first of all, these are drawings, so fuck off. Second of all, you have every reason to call Jericho a pedo, but Lancelot, nah. Lancelot, it's a 4-year age difference. There's less reasons to call Lancelot a pedo compared to Jericho. Jericho, you can call Jericho a pedo all you fucking want. Lancelot, there's no reason to call him a pedo. Like, stop. Same with Bond. Bond and Lancelot are not pedos. Jericho, that is a fucking pedo. Let's be goddamn clear. I mean, she was with a 10-year-old. Like, she fell in love with a 10-year-old. Like, for fuck's sake. If that doesn't scream pedo, I don't know what does. Again, these are drawings, but I had to put it out there because I'm so tired of these fucking idiots. Seriously. I know a lot of the Shotacons, though, are like, damn, yes, I want them opais. I would take that, bitch. I wish I had a big titty waifu that wanted me. When I was Lancelot's age, I know it. I know there's going to be someone that says it. But anyways, this is what is going on with Guinevere, though. She is an oracle type. She has magic that allows her to see the future with her kaleidoscope, which allows her to dream with clarity and detail any event that will happen to her or around her, for no further than her death, which she predicts will be at the age of 71. Well, we'll see what happens with that, because she said that if she wanted to fuck with fate and defy fate, then she would have a price to pay. And if you look at the Guinevere lore, Arthurian lore, yeah, she fucks with fate. So we'll see what Nakaba does with that. But this is what the prediction is, and this is what I have in terms of a theory here for Jericho in regards to like Arthur and Jericho is Guinevere reveals that her predictions never fail, and that she has already dreamed of Lancelot hundreds of times, including the first time they met, their secret meeting a few years later in the future, their first kiss a year later, and finally their separation when Lancelot makes a name for himself as the Knight of Lyonesse at age 23. If Arthur took Lancelot when he was 23 and put him in Jericho's world and manipulated Guinevere's fate, yeah, there's going to be a price to pay. And she says that they will reach a future that she doesn't want to see. Well, what future is that? And we know that Guinevere is going to get married to Arthur. So again, if you want to call anyone a pedo, again, I know this is fiction, but I have to deal with these fuckers because I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of them calling Bond and Lancelot pedos, and it shows you that these motherfuckers don't read Fortnite to the Apocalypse. If you want to call anyone a pedo, you call Arthur a pedo, and you call Jericho a pedo. Leave Lancelot and Bond out of this, seriously. And also, again, Nakaba's going by Arthurian lore. You could call Arthurian lore pedophilic. Don't call Nakaba a pedophile for going off the lore. Seriously. Fucking hate these people. Ugh. They need context. Context. But nah, it shows you that these motherfuckers are Taurus. Can't stand fucking Taurus. Oh my god. Okay, so Lancelot I gotta get back to, because there's more stuff for Lancelot that I do need to cover in regards to his magic. From when he was spirited away, that Tristan mentions. That when he returned from being spirited away, 3 years later, he returned safely as if nothing ever happened, yet he gained terrifying new strength and magical power, and he would never speak of what happened to him, but his strength is now comparable to that of the legendary 7 deadly sins. And because of that, he destroys ordinary weapons, because he can't control his own magic, except for arrows. Arrows he could do that with, and that's why he's seeking out doves. And I'm just thinking to myself, Waffle, we need the Prince of the Lake story. Seriously, that will be explained when we get Prince of the Lake. But God, him and Arthur are alike. Again, what the Arthur and the Lady of the Lake stuff. It kind of is scary how much Arthur and Lancelot are alike in that respect. And Arthurian lore, again, Lancelot was Arthur's best friend in Arthurian lore. But there's one other thing, though, that sets Lancelot and Arthur apart, is that Lancelot, he may not be able to control his power, to an extent, when he's using it via a weapon, but he's not like Arthur, where it feels like the power is controlling him. You know what I mean? Because Arthur says here, Arthur says in chapter, I think it was chapter 80, he says this here. He, that chaos is only here to subconsciously protect me, its host. The death of its host would mean the loss of where it belongs. It has nothing to do with his will. It's like a will without will. That's why not even Lancelot could read its movements. But Arthur is basically saying chaos has a mind of its own. Lancelot still has control of his power, subconscious control of his power. He's not being controlled by another entity. So that's when people are asking me, well, Packer Girl, is Arthur endgame of this manga? I'm like, no! After this, you cannot tell me that Arthur is endgame. There's a bigger force at work here. Whether it's because you have Merlin and the Lady of the Lake, who were giving the power to, bestowed the power to Arthur. And again, I have to stress the Prince of the Lake stuff is going to be so important. It's got to be important. It has to. If you don't, because that is like the, to me, it's like you have the goddess and the supreme goddess and the demon king stuff coming into play here with the Lady of the Lake and the Prince of the Lake. That's what it seems like to me. It's like the Prince of the Lake is the counterbalance to chaos. Like, it will balance out chaos. That's what it seems like to me, if that makes sense. But then, the other thing in regards to Arthur I do have to mention, of course, is what happened when he came to Lyonesse, because he did make his Lyonesse debut. well, post-chaos. And he came in using he came in via the stairway coming from heaven, which was pretty boss. And he used the king's authority to immobilize everyone that was there in the kingdom. But God, that speech. Something I do want to mention in regards to Arthur when he does make his entrance is how Tristan seems to be very familiar with him. Gotta wonder if at the end of Grudge of Edinburgh Part 2, if we're going to see him. The thing is with Grudge of Edinburgh that I've hypothesized with Priest is that I think remember the oracle that we saw near the beginning that gave the prophecy of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse? I think that's who Priest is. I think Priest is that oracle. I honestly do. But the prisoner that Jericho killed, I still think that's Death Pierce. I do. But there's one other thing there's one other thing I need to mention here. But based on what we're seeing here, based on what we saw when Arthur initially came and Tristan recognized him, there's got to be something where Tristan recognized the power of chaos, like found out about the powers of chaos from his mother's curse originated from Arthur or something. We know about, how he found out via Priest, but there's something else going on here, especially with the creatures that we saw in Grudge of Edinburgh being similar to what we saw with Meligoland. Yeah. Then we got the King's Authority, which is everything. That was some hockey shit. Then here's what he said, though. And this is very important. I'm glad I'm reading this because this is very, very, very important in regards to where Tristan and his platoon are going to be at. I am Arthur Pendragon, king of the southern kingdom of Camelot, which was once destroyed in the holy war between the Demon King and the seven deadly sins. And he's projecting this into everyone's head. And now you, the people of Lyonesse, stand upon the same road as Camelot. Ruination or survival. As of now, the peace you have is only fleeting. The history of what transpired in Britannia makes that all too clear. The Holy War 3,000 years ago. The Holy War 16 years ago. Battle after bloody battle between different races. And every time we have continued to make sacrifices before other races. There must be some among you who lost someone dear in the Holy War. Family, friends, leaving scars upon your hearts. Even after 16 years, there are wounds that don't heal so easily. The lives of those lost will never return. You'll be tormented by the wounds carved into your hearts and the rest of your lives. But what if you could see your beloved families again? What if you could confess your love to those who died before you could tell them? What if you could make your unfulfilled wishes come true? It certainly exists here. A land where no one suffers or grieves. A haven where none are plagued by any menace or disaster. That is my Camelot. Dude, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Like, I can't. How is he doing this with chaos? There's got to be a sacrifice here. That's why I'm like, in regards to Jericho's stuff, I'm like, yeah, he had to pull like a 23-year-old Lancelot out of like the flow of time to do this. There's no way he did not. My goal is your salvation. Of course, I have no intention of forcing you, but I would like you to think it over. The seven deadly sins are the heroes who saved the kingdom, but in the end, they are a medley of other races. Motherfucker's such a racist. But we found out in Grudge of Edinburgh there's more to this, and we'll get into it in a second, because when we found out what's going down with Camelot, the same applied to Grudge of Edinburgh as well. In the case of Edinburgh, it's clear that humans, all of you, will be betrayed by them. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, Tristan was not having any of this shit. Nope. And this speech, for those of you that watch Grudge of Edinburgh, sounds familiar, doesn't it? For humans to achieve true peace, we must eradicate all non-human races. Yep. I'm telling you, it should sound familiar because Death Pierce came to that same conclusion. But now we need to get to the state of or no, I almost forgot. We need to talk about one other thing and then we can get to Camelot, which is the declaration of war that happened here. Because these locations are very significant. We got Dalflair, Benwick, and the Fairy King's Forest. And this is as Arthur was leaving because he sensed powerful aggression from there. And that was the first appearance of Bon and King and Diane in Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Yeah, Diane and King's kids are coming. Yes. Yes! And this is what he said here. So the declaration of war here is a war to hunt down all four Knights of the Apocalypse and their allies and eradicate them. So 7 deadly sins have been reduced to just being the allies of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. I think he's just more mad about Lancelot whooping his ass, to be honest. But as I keep saying, it's got everything to do with the Prince of the Lake shit. Just something. Something just keeps telling me this. Like, okay. Now we're going to get to Camelot and then we'll wrap this up. We'll wrap this up with, like, the rest of the predictions I have here in 2023 because, woo boy. So here's the state of Camelot here. King Arthur used the power of chaos to bring forth a new Camelot within another dimension, like the fairy realm and demon realm. Due to how hard it is to infiltrate, we still haven't grasped the full picture of that world. They don't even know what they're fighting for. They don't. It's similar to the Grudge. Isn't that similar to like what we've seen in the Grudge of Edinburgh? We don't know. But it's this though. It's this. Actually, this is kind of what it kind of confirms what I originally thought in Grudge of Edinburgh and kind of confirms this. But perhaps it's because there is a price to pay to further construct and maintain Camelot. Similar to what it is in Grudge of Edinburgh, where they have to sacrifice all these different magical beasts. I know part of it's experimentation, but there is that too. All right, so let's take a look at Camelot here. And yes, the other thing that I forgot to mention is the Four Knights Rapture. They're saying it's in regard to Camelot. But watch. Arthur is going to make it so that the four knights use that rapture against the other races and have everyone turn against them. Watch. It is going to happen. Here we go. Yeah, the mountains and the land are completely gone where Camelot used to be. There was some premium quality ore in that mountain. It was surrounded by lush forests and lakes. There were small villages there too, such as Igor, Cresbron, and Orden. And Orden used to be the hometown of our holy knight Pelio. So it looks like every time Arthur creates something in Camelot, something in this world is lost. Is that what Guinevere was referring to? I wonder if that's what Guinevere is referring to. Because remember, she said that that they will reach a future that she does not want to see. I wonder if this is what Guinevere is referring to. And the credible source that, that they're talking about here is, of course, Vargas, Percival's grandfather. I do need to mention this, of course, because this is significant. I think this is going to happen with Gawain as well. Well, when we find out what happened with her grandparents. This is what happened with him. After, a little after the Holy War ended, Vargas became a turncoat, and he asked for Meliodas' help while being hunted by his former comrades with little Percival as a baby in his arms. I'm telling you, we're going to see something similar for Gawain. And with his master Arthur changing by the moment after gaining the power of chaos, Vargas hoped to turn him back to normal and stop his comrades who blindly followed him. I'm telling you, we're going to see something similar to Gawain. I believed in his words, and so I gave him an Ouroboros medallion as a token of eternal friendship and carved 2 stars onto his helmet as a token of trust and cooperation. And Meliodas was going to take, Percival in, but Vargas said no. Because why? Percival is mine to protect, even if it costs my life. I'll raise him up to be a healthy, kind-hearted boy. Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah, poor little Percival. Fuck, Gian is a piece of shit. Oh, I want to punch him in the face. I know Gawain does too. Here we go. This is very important, though. When the moon, distant thunder, and rain bless the kingdom, the 4 knights of prophecy will finally gather. But through an assassin from chaos and a traitor's blade, hope will be stolen away as well. But through an assassin from chaos and a traitor's blade. Because that was the omen by the former king yesterday. So that was Jericho that did that. Yep, just as he foretold, you 4 knights of prophecy have gathered, but our hope has also been lost. Yeah, the road of Camelot is to close. Yep. And let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. However, it's an absolutely essential power. Let me read this again. Hold on. Or this part here. Here we go. But the rebel's goal was to recover a captured comrade. The rebel was none other than Jericho, former Holy Knight of Lyonesse. Yep. So that's what it meant, the assassin from chaos and the traitor's blade. And the moment she decided she could not lift the magical restraints I cast on him, she killed the prisoner and left. I'm telling you, I still think that's death, Pierce. But I don't understand, what does a war prisoner's death have to do with the loss of hope? Sorry to say, they're the same thing. The Knights of Chaos are given a mark by King Arthur himself, and those marks are activated by the life force and incantation of the ones tattooed with them. It was all devised to open a door that connects this side to the other. So once we lost the prisoner, we were left with no way into Camelot? Let's see. Yeah, and Meliodas can't get into Camelot. No. Full-blooded demons can't get into Camelot, or full-blooded goddesses can't either. No, only humans and mixed breeds can get up in there, which I think is important. Again, this is why I keep saying it. Pelagard and Jericho, those two. Those two are going to be the ones that could possibly get them into chaos, into the chaotic Camelot. Yep, because let me read this here. To be precise, it's the non-human demon clan, goddess clan, fairy clan, and giant clan. There's a powerful barrier on the door to Camelot that prevents those 4 races from invading. And that is why. Let's see. Shield's just a prick. Percival did say that, when he was suggesting that they all go on an adventure, that they would find a way to get into Camelot along the way. I'm telling you, it is going to be freaking Pelagard or Jericho or maybe both, but I'm leaning more towards Pelagard. So here we go. So now I'm going to get into where each team is going. And then, because this is in chapter 89, and and how I think shit's going to go down. So we got Percival and Gawain are going to search the Fairy King's Forest in northern Britannia. And then Tristan is going to search Old Camelot in southern Britannia. And then Lancelot is going to search Benwick in eastern Britannia. Yeah, I'm telling you, with Lancelot, we are going to get... We better get answers about him, about what happened when he was spirited away. We better get our fucking Prince of the Lake story. If we do not, I am going to be very pissed. Seriously, Nakaba, give us that fucking story. Let's see. Well, I thought Lancelot was going to be searching for Dubs, but not. So Meliodas is going to be searching for Dubs. So yeah, it's got. Yeah, this is telling me if Lancelot is not going to be searching for Dubs, if he's not going to be searching for Jericho, obviously, then this means that, to me, that we gotta be getting the Prince of the Lake story. Come on. If we do not get this fucking story for Lancelot, I'm gonna be so pissed. Seriously. Now, in regards to Percival and Gawain, obviously we're getting King and Diane's kids. If we do not, then that's bullshit. Now, in regards to Pelagard's got to be showing up there at some point. If Pelagard doesn't show up to cause shit, then why? Why not show up, Pelagard, and cause shit? Seriously, and Pelagard would turn here, like Pelagard and maybe Ironside or something. Maybe Ironside. Or fuck, I wouldn't mind seeing Gawain's Papa up in there. Dude, that'd be sick if we saw Gawain's Papa up in there to come get his kid. Dude, that'd be sick. I would not mind that. God, that would be a good time to see him. Do you guys think we'll get him? I don't know. But I kind of would like to see it, because I would like to see Arthur tell Gawain's Papa what's going down, and he would come after her. Oh my God, please. And have Pelagard go with them. And then Pelagard turn then and there, because he doesn't like how Gawain getting treated. Bitch, that would be amazing. Do I think we'll get some rapture up in here? Depends on how shit goes. If Gawain's Papa is a fucking tyrant and he's an asshole causing hopelessness, dude, I think Gawain might. I don't know about Percival's rapture going the fuck off. I think Gawain's might. If it's done, if Nakaba goes this route, that'd be fucking sick. I'd like to see that. Now, in regards to Tristan, this could be very interesting, especially if it is tied to the events of Grudge of Edinburgh. Especially in regards to the tracing that we saw in the first part. Now, if we get that kind of thing going on where Tristan is able to, see into like where some of the magic is going, that when like a part of Camelot is being removed or some shit like that, that would be awesome. I would love to see that. Do I think it will happen? I don't know, but I kind of think that would be the smart way to go. Do I think Tristan will be able to get anyone to turn? I doubt it. Now, if Priest is still alive like I think he is, and he is the Oracle like I really hope he is, then I wouldn't mind seeing an encounter with him. Now, if I'm wrong and that's not Death Pierce in jail that Jericho killed, and it's Death Pierce that shows up there, bitch, that would be awesome too. I would not mind seeing Death Pierce go up against Tristan. That's if Death Pierce is still alive, and if Death Pierce wasn't the one Jericho killed in the dungeons. I'm very curious what you guys think in regards to that. Do you guys think that the knight that Tristan is going to see is Death Pierce? Or do you think that Arthur is going to pay Tristan a visit? Or shit, do you think he's going to see chaos itself? Like, it'll be very interesting in regards to Tristan what happens. Do you think Isolde's going to get killed and Tristan's rapture is going to get triggered? I think it's too soon for that, in all honesty. It's too soon for that. But I think the ones that I know shit was going to go down, in terms of like extremely relevant lore. Obviously, all of it is going to be. Is Lancelot is based on what is said here in 89. It's got to be a freaking his Prince of the Lake story. There's no excuse not to have the Prince of the Lake story. Shit, I could see Lancelot getting his weapon during this story as well. Duh. And then with Percival and Gawain, we're going to see King and Diane's kids. Shit, we might see Gowther meet up with Tristan as well, and they could probably, similar to what we saw in Grudge of Edinburgh, we might see them work together, use their magic and work together to possibly find a door. I'm just saying, I don't think Gowther could go into Camelot, even though he's a doll. I don't think he could go in. I don't think so. That'd be interesting, though. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you guys think. What do you guys think of the lore we got this year in Four Knights of the Apocalypse? And based on the lore, what do you see coming out of Four Knights of the Apocalypse this year? And do you, especially with what we're getting with Lancelot? Lancelot's got to have the most interesting lore out of all of them. I swear to God. And do you think we're going to see King and Diane's kids like I do? I think those, I'm telling you, Fairy King's Forest and Benwick will probably be the most interesting because, as I said, we got King and Diane's kids, and for Benwick, we have the Prince of the Lake story coming, or we should. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. If you love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more Four Knights of the Apocalypse content. A few ways you could do that. Donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off our Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.